strength, but his hand is always to be. Oh, City Ground.
What's going on, people? It's Mr. Dore back again with another podcast. I hope everyone's fit and well. And yes, we've got myself and we've got Desmond Oldham on the stream today. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. We are going to be live and watch the FA Cup draw to see who Forest gets. So, people, Forest fans or any other football fan, who do you want in the draw? I don't know where is it gone now. He's gone now. So yeah, so in the chat, who do you want in the FA Cup? Massive shout out to my sponsors, to Alan Haulage and Far Wide. If you want to know more about them, the link is in the description as well. They are sponsoring my channel to the end of the season. So shout out to Alan Haulage and Far and Wide. But yeah, it's FA Cup time. Like I said, here he is now. Here he is. So me and Des we're going to speak about Everton out of thoughts, the FA Cup draw. So when people get ready for the draw, who do you want in the draw? Me? I don't want Walsall away. I don't want Walsall and I don't want Stoke. They're the two teams I don't want away because you know what, FA Cup always comes with drama, so please don't get them. And again, we're going to talk about Utrecht because, as you know, me and Des are going to Utrecht. I'm going tomorrow. Des is going on Thursday morning, so a lot to talk about. And here he is, Des Oldham. Are you right, Des?
I'm all right. I'm looking forward to chatting through all that stuff. Lots to go at. Not really busy day yesterday and a bit worse for wear after the game. So I've not seen a lot. I know there's been a fallout. I've not really got into all the podcasts and the socials, apart from the abuse I took from the Everton fans on my video.
You got abused left, right, centre, Des. Bloody.
I think I got blamed for all the chanting and everything. But anyway, yeah, really.
I took a cheeky look and thought. I looked at a cheeky look at it in one of my days. You're getting abused left, right, centre. All the Everton fans. But you know what annoys me, Des? It's okay saying we're saying this, but they can't say when they say scabs. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here and all that.
Well, but, I think my favourite insult was fat, balding, ugly scab.
Well,
so it was all good fun. It was all good fun on Saturday, especially when I'd had a couple of beers. But like I say, since I've not really seen anything, I've not seen the podcast or anything like that. So looking forward to talking about all the good stuff that's coming up. Hopefully.
Make sure everyone follows Des on the socials. Like I said, he does after game reactions, as you know. Make sure that you follow all his Instagram pages as well. So if you can, please do follow Des, like he does after game reactions as well. So before the FA Cup draw, Des, like I said, let's talk about a little about Everton because, like I said, it wasn't great. So let's. What was your thoughts so people know what's your opinion about that game?
I wasn't happy. You know, I was really frustrated. It's probably the most upset I've been after watching Forest. I don't look, and I know, and I said it myself on Wednesday. We take the win against Wolves, but we were extremely poor. We were shocking. There were two poor sides out there on Wednesday, and we got the edge on it. Do you know? But I thought. I just feel something's missing at the moment. That Everton game, you know, we were shocking from start to finish. And I'm a massive Dice fan. I like what he did when he come in, and I'm not at a point of questioning his decisions too much at this stage. You know, he's picked up a situation, and we saw some initial improvement, but we need to find it again. But there were one or two things in hindsight. Again, I'm not criticising his choices where you look at it and I'd have gone a slightly different direction. You know, I look at Savona at right back against Jack Grealish, you know, and which ultimately like cost us the first goal, you know, in winning that free kick and the booking and those kind of things. I'd have given him a bit of cover with Dominguez, you know, and it's really easy to say that now because Hutchinson's been playing so well. You know, so if he'd have been dropped, we'd have all been like, why has he dropped Hutchinson, blah, blah, blah. But like I say, when you look back at the game and see where it went wrong, and that's all we can do afterwards, you know, I'd have probably... And for me, like the wingers are more impact players at the moment. So a game like Everton away in a big stadium, you know, they'd come off the back of a good result midweek themselves, even though they had a bad result last time out there. I would have gone a bit more pragmatic. I'd have probably had Hutchinson and and Dore on the bench because they're impact players. Do you know, they seem to be much more involved when they're coming off the bench. You know, fresh legs. And I'd have had Hudson Odoi in the team. I know he's not performing particularly well, but he holds the ball up. The goal we got against Wolves was because the ball actually stuck on the wing. He got the ball. He played it inside to Yates. Yates played it outside to Savona and Hutchinson, and they got the ball in and actually got that goal against Wolves. And the problem is at the moment is it's coming back far too quickly. The ball, like Jesus is a good player. I think every Forest fan knows he's a good player, but he's running around a bit like a headless chicken at times because the ball's not sticking to him and there's no fluency until those guys in particular on the wings, you know, get some real consistency going. I'd use them as impact players. You know, we've seen what Hutchinson can do, especially. But I just feel with Hudson Odoi, and yes, he can be predictable. He's not in the best of form, but look, he can sort of manage the game better. And of course, you know, Dominguez would do that as well in front of Savona on the other side. So I thought that's kind of where we lost the games. We defended extremely poorly, which is, even though there's been people on Morata's case, you know, I thought both of them were bad, you know, and I'm going to say something, and it might be like real unpopular opinion, but Milenkovic, he's gone from a front foot defender to a back foot defender. He's letting the ball bounce in the midfield. You know, he's ducking under crosses and sort of backing off, and even though he had no chance of sort of cutting Barry out for that second goal.
But Des, do you think he's missing Murillo next to him?
I do. I said in my pre-match, and I don't know what's going on with Murillo either. There just seems to be a lot wrong at the moment. But I felt in my pre-match when I was predicting it, whether Murillo played or didn't play was going to be the difference. You know, it was going to be so crucial because you've seen at the moment Morata's confidence. I've always thought he's a decent backup, a good player, but his confidence is on the floor. You know, he passing it into midfield, he's just not getting it right. You know, he's mistiming his headers and all kind of things, and he's just badly out of form. And he's took a bit of stick recently, and people have questioned him. He wasn't as bad as people made out before this spell, but he is absolutely on the floor. So Murillo is so important. You know what he brings. You know, he brings that variety of passing as well, and sort of coming out from the back and all these kind of things that give us an extra dimension. And what we saw again, and it was exactly the same against Brighton, we saw a team that I don't think are much better than us, you know, and that was my bang average comment. Wasn't actually meant as that's what I got the stick for from the Everton fans. But
yeah, no, that's when I heard it,
it wasn't actually a criticism on them, and their managers actually said it. David Moyes said it on Match of the Day. He said we didn't play particularly well. You know, and that's all I was saying. They didn't have to play well because, like Brighton, they're not that much better in terms of ability and what they can do when they're playing well. But they're just a lot more dynamic at the minute. You know, they're running in different directions. They're moving all the time. Brighton did it in that first 30 minutes, whereas Forest looked very sort of, if it's not coming through Hutchinson at the moment, it's not coming through anyone. And to be relying on him, having him come off the bench in a couple of games and done well, we're putting too much pressure on the lad, you know, because it should be the likes of Gibbs White and Anderson, who I just don't think, again, might be unpopular opinion. Anderson's a fantastic player, absolutely off the scale. But the last couple of games, what's going on? You know, and that's the frustration coming out of the game. So, look, I'm not sort of, I'm not completely down about it because we can get out of it and we can get on a bit of a run again, and we've got Europe to look forward to and the FA Cup maybe and things like that. There's lots to play for, but I just think at the moment I can't really put my finger on it, and hopefully Sean Dice can. But on what's wrong?
The thing is, it's just weird because, like I said, we battered Liverpool 3-0, and then we win Mammoth 3-0 as well, and Wolves game, like I said, it wasn't a great game to watch, but we win 1-0, and then I understand when you said, I think when Everton scored the first goal, and then we slowly was getting into the game. I think Anson had a chance as well, and Jesus had the half chance as well. And I thought the first half after we played well, but then the second goal just killed us. That's what it.
Look! I was on my way down to get a drink at half time, and I saw the goal. Like literally when he was running through, I was watching it from the concourse thing. But all I was thinking, like, yes, we did come back into the game. I said that on my sort of summary, but not enough. We didn't do like I know those two chances you mentioned we had, but they never really looked like they were going to score. And all I was thinking walking down at half time was just go in 1-0. Make sure it's 1-0. And again, to be caught in that fashion, I've seen the goal back just tonight on the news. I've not really seen it properly without being drunk. And to be caught like that in the second minute of injury time in the first half, when you've played really, really poorly. Again, it just don't seem what Forest are built on and our strengths, and it's just so frustrating that you'd almost take your medicine with the first goal. Conceding in the first minute, it could have been 2 or 3-0, but we could have gone in just 1-0. And then you know what football's like. Something could have happened at the start of the second half, and we could have been back in it, and we could have even won it. Because it's often, it's an old cliche, game of two halves and all that, and it can often be that way.
There's I just stop me there because the FA Cup draw is about to start.
Yes,
so I was about to say, who do you want? People in the chat, who do you want in FA Cup? Des, who do you want?
When it comes to this time, because I've been to about 80 grounds, I always want somewhere I haven't been, like
I know, me too. I don't want Warsaw. I don't want Warsaw because we don't win.
I know you. I don't want Swansea away.
Yeah, Swansea away. Swansea away. I don't want them. Before we do, I've got a new member to my channel. Tim, thank you for being a member to the channel. Much appreciated as well. But people in the chat, who do you want
I'll take Western Supermare at home, though.
Imagine that. So Forest on number 28. Forest for 28. I want. You know what it is, Kel? What Kel just said. Wasn't it weird when we was in the Premier League? We all wanted Premier League teams. And now we have a Premier League team. We don't want one. So people in the chat, where's Superman away, Des? I'll take that.
I want it to be a league club so I can build my 92 up.
Christian, he wants Derby. Derby away, Des. Would you take Derby away?
Definitely. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Okay, no, we don't want Liverpool. We'll beat them. Don't worry about now. Forget Liverpool. We'll beat them. Nah, forget Liverpool. We'll beat them easy. We need to win at Arsenal.
But the only team we can beat right now.
What? We'll play Liverpool away. We'll beat them. Don't worry about them. Right, so here's a draw. Come on, here we go. The Forest on number 28.
That's a bit of I'm a bit in front of you.
Oh, you're off. So Des in front of me. I've got it on my laptop. That's why.
There's a slight local derby in the first one.
Oh, Wolves Shrewsbury, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wolves Shrewsbury. Yeah, that's looking derby.
You want me to tell you the next one?
Yeah, go. Might as well. Just tell me the next one. Keep going.
Doncaster versus Southampton.
Ooh.
It's a nice game for Doncaster.
Yeah, nice game.
Oh, the first big one.
Oh.
Tottenham versus Aston Villa.
Fuck. Wow. Sorry for my language. So.
Port Vale. Have you been to Vale Park?
Oh, I want Port Vale Way. Dave said he wants Port Vale Way as well.
I've been to Port Vale. I saw KC score there.
KC scored, didn't he? Yeah.
Opening day, one of the hottest days ever.
Yeah. Kevin Campbell, rest in peace, my friend.
We don't want to go to Preston North End, do we?
No, I don't want to go Preston. I don't want to Preston.
But they've got a local derby because they've got Wigan.
Oh, yeah, that's another derby. Is
this a regionalised cup draw? Number 18. Ipswich.
No, I don't want it. No, wait. What's her name? Chelsea.
They've got Blackpool.
Oh,
That's a trip and a half for Blackpool, isn't it?
That's a trip and a half for Blackpool, man.
Wow, that must take. Kay's just finding out the mileage. Number 44. Wrexham.
Imagine.
Take Wrexham.
I'll take Wrexham. Come on, I'll take Wrexham. No, I don't want Wrexham.
Wrexham.
Yeah!
Hey!
Come on! Wrexham away!
Definitely. We'll have some of that Hollywood.
Oh! Wrexham away! Woohoo!
Dan's just looked up and wondered what's going on.
What the hell? Wrexham away!
Right, Charlton versus Chelsea. That's a good draw for Charlton, isn't it?
Wrexham away.
Definitely do Wrexham away.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing Wrexham away. Woohoo! Deep ball, here we come. Nottingham Forest have got Wrexham away. I'll take that.
Man City. Yeah, that's a good tie for Charlton. Man City have got Exeter City. I've been funny that since we went last year, I've been following them and it's all South fan running.
Oh, guess what? Well, Steve will be happy.
Yeah.
Well, Steve will be. Yeah. Well, Steve.
So I've been following Exeter and they another London derby, West Ham QPR. They've been talking about how important it is to get to the third round of the FA Cup for the money to get them through more seasons. And they've gone and drawn Manchester City away.
Jason, guess who plays for Wrexham? Guess who plays for Wrexham?
Lewis O'Brien.
Lewis O'Brien. Pat says, yes, Christian C. Brown, he'll be happy. It's definitely is your mate, Des. Hello, chat. Let's forget the weekend. We'll be ready for the next match. By the way, when you lot go send some decent cricketers. Oh, days.
Block him, Dore.
Stefan,
I'm just joking.
I'm not interested in cricket, so
we don't talk about cricket on this show. That's another.
We don't talk about cricket. What's happening, Des, with the cricket?
We don't talk about it. Right. There's an FA Cup draw on anyway.
The FA Cup draw, people.
Sheffield
So
Wednesday, Bradford.
Wrexham have got Forest.
Oh, another big one. Everton, Sunderland.
Wow.
Liverpool. That hot ball got them a home draw again.
Who's Liverpool got?
Barnsley.
Barnsley win that. Look, they've already beat them in Premier League.
Burnley.
We'll get Blackburn.
We've got
Barnsley.
Millwall.
Oh. That's me a cracking one, isn't it? Both fans. No.
This Western Supermare is still in.
Imagine them. Imagine Man U playing them at their ground.
That's what I'm looking at. Norwich have got Warsaw. Jesus Christ.
I'm happy with that. I don't want to play Warsaw. But Rex is a great draw, man. Another ground to tick off.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
We manifested that one saying we need a new ground.
A new ground, so.
Oh, that's a tasty one. Portsmouth, Arsenal.
Who?
Portsmouth, Arsenal.
Oh, that's not bad. That's good. That's a good draw, though, to be fair.
Derby at home.
Who's Derby got?
Leeds. Oh.
Wow.
They don't like each other, do they?
They like each other, them two don't. When it Lampard? Lampard? No, not Lampard. Who was it? The Brett Bielsa.
Yeah, Bielsa and Lampard. Swansea got a home tie, but it's not us.
At last.
West Bromwich Albion.
Des, watch that game be a Monday night game. It'll be a Monday night game. That's definitely going to be on TV. Wrexham.
Of course it is, because they get what they want, don't they? Salford City. This one will be on TV. Man United. No, Swindon.
Who's home? Swindon?
No, Salford. There's going to be a point where Salford play Man U, isn't there?
Yeah. They're playing him before, aren't they?
Boreham Wood. Boreham Wood have got Brackley Town or Burton Albion.
Wow, that's not
Imagine
bad
if
to be
that's
fair, is it?
Boreham and Brackley.
That's
There'll be a
definitely on
team-
TV. That's
There'll be a
definitely on
team
TV, Des.
in the fourth round.
That's definitely on TV. So, people, if you don't know, if you
All
just
the Brackley fans are gutted.
I know.
They've got Boreham Wood.
There's still Man U, Newcastle, Palace, Brighton.
Right, 46. Grimsby Town. Man U.
Man U.
49. Western Supermare.
Western Supermare.
Macclesfield are still in there.
Macclesfield.
Hull City. Got Blackburn. That's boring, isn't it?
Yeah, that's boring. Yeah, that's boring.
This has been a good draw. Like lots of good games.
Good draw. Yeah, I think our draw is good, though, to be fair.
Newcastle. Stags are still in the draw. Bournemouth, Newcastle.
Bournemouth, Newcastle.
They weren't like that.
Oh, who's home?
Newcastle
anyway,
at home.
Even anyway, the Newcastle fans going to be travelling far away.
MK Dons.
Oh, Bournemouth are travelling far again.
MK Dons have got Oxford. That's really close as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a close one. Oxford and NK Dons. Mansfield's still in the draw.
Yeah. Cheltenham have got Leicester.
That's a tough game. That's a tough one for Leicester.
I was hoping Mansfield would get Leicester away. Cambridge. Birmingham. Number 8, Bristol. Why does it just say Bristol? Bristol City. I've got Watford. Stags are going to get a big one here.
Yeah.
Unless they get Macclesfield. 36. Stoke.
What should be Mansfield?
Coventry.
Oh, that's boring.
Stags are could get Man U.
Oh, Sheffield United. Imagine Sheffield United, Des.
I know. Well, whoever they get now, it's going to. If they get Macclesfield, they'll get through. So Macclesfield are at home. Crystal Palace. So there's Sheffield United, Brighton, Man United, and Mansfield.
Freaking hell. Imagine
Man United.
Home.
Yeah.
What should be Mansfield?
Brighton. So it's Mansfield, Sheffield
United. I
United.
hope Mansfield gets Sheffield United away. I hope.
That'll be a bit lively.
Yeah, Sheffield United are at home.
Sheffield United are at home.
Against Mansfield?
Yeah. They'll take 10,000 there.
They'll take loads. They'll take loads. Scummy. I don't like Sheffield United.
Stay away from Sheffield that day.
Oh, days. Right. Look for comments. What about the Imps? Lincoln are out. They're out, Stefan. So the draw's completed, people. We've got Wrexham away. I'm going to that one. I'm definitely going to.
We're going to Europe again. Another trip abroad.
Who owns him again? The American lot, don't they?
Ryan Reynolds. It'll probably be on TV. When are they playing? 9th and weekend and 9th and the 12th. So what is it?
It's from Thursday. It's from Thursday to Monday. So yeah, it's gonna be a long one. But yeah, I'm happy with that draw. People, Forest fans, are you happy with that draw? Wrexham away. I'm definitely happy, if I'm honest. But you know that
There's some good ones. It should make for an interesting draw next time round because there's lots of Premier League teams in there, like playing each other. There'll be lots out.
So people, like I said, we've got Wrexham, and I hope everyone's happy about that. Make sure people please do hit the like button if you can. Hit the like button, subscribe if you know. We'll speak about Everton. Let's talk about this game, Des, Utrecht, because we know we've got a massive game on Sunday against Spurs. But do you think? I personally think we've got to take it seriously because I think we're 16th in Europa, and this game we've got to win this game because the two games afterwards, Braga and I can't pronounce the Hungarian team. Flesimilo, I can't pronounce. They're in the top 6. Flesimilo, they're in the top 8. They are. So we've got to take this game serious, don't we? And play a strong team, or do we need to rest players?
Look, I'm glad I don't have to make the final decision, but because I think Sean Dyche learned the lesson against Bournemouth of the fact that it's really hard to play Thursday and Sunday, and the players weren't fit enough. And I think we're seeing it as time goes on. This is kind of happening again. We've seen it with other clubs over the years, so it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. But we also see, and this age-old problem is creeping back in, and this is possibly one of the most frustrating things. For all the time we've been in the Premier League, as soon as we're missing a top player, a starting 11 player, like we are with Murillo or like we are with Chris Ward or whoever, there's a massive drop-off. Even though we spent millions reinforcing the squad, I think everybody's in agreement now that it's not really worked out with a lot of them. And hopefully there's still time for that to happen, but it hasn't worked out so far. So the problem is, as soon as we start making changes, the drop off is much bigger than it even should be. There should be sort of fine margins, so to speak, between these players. Just a difference of who's in form and who's not. But it's not the case. You no disrespect. Look, he's done brilliant when he comes in. Zach Abbott when he's coming in, but he's not a right back, is he? And he's not going to get up and down the line, and he's not going to affect the game going forward very much. So, and look, that's probably harsh because he's probably the worst example I could have used there. But you see it with the goalkeeper. Sells is not in great form, but the drop off again is massive. You see it. You see with Morato, even the difference between him and Murillo, but there's no one there to actually fight for that place when he's not there. I'd have liked to have seen more of Kuna. So getting back to your question, I think we've got to take it serious because even if it's to play these players back into form, and if they're not fit enough, some of them have to come out of the team. Some of them didn't look fit enough on Saturday. So why would they look fit enough next Sunday after a European game? And when you're not playing well, when you're out of form, you appear to be unfit. Things aren't going right. You don't try as hard. You don't do the right things. You make poor decisions. But the only way to get back in that is win football matches. And again, it's easy for me to say this because I'm going to be slightly contradictory, but we changed the team for Malmo. It made complete sense. It made absolute complete sense. But then, does it make sense to the players who are not in the team? Would you want that winning mentality? Would a 7-0, which it could have easily been, even with the team that was on the pitch. But if you got Gibbs White in and he scored 2 goals, or do you know what I mean? Or you got Anderson and he got a couple, or Jesus. I know they come on towards the end, and when the game was won. But would that have taken the confidence a lot further? Because again, for the first time, I think not the first time this season, we've seen it come out of it and seem to have gone back into a team lacking in confidence. And now I'm looking for them to try and find that wherever they can get it. And if that would have been beating Malmo 7-0 or whatever, I'd take it. So I think Utrecht, the last thing we want to do is go there and get beat. And that team that played against Malmo will not beat Utrecht. It's not much better, but it should beat them, but it's better opposition. It's much better opposition than Malmo. The league is a high standard, even though it's not the Premier League. and they're not one of the top sides in that league.
Mm.
But I'd expect a much tougher and tighter game. So I think we've got to be really on it. And the problem is if you throw this game away or you lose it, by not showing the application we did in certain games earlier in the season, then you could almost be throwing the season away. Because you could end up at this competition. You mentioned those games. I still think we should finish in the top 8, but that would mean us playing well and playing our best players every week. It don't matter that Ferencváros are 8th in that league, because we're better than them. Our standard, I'd still expect us to go and beat them. Braga, again, it's one of the better leagues of the teams in this competition. It's not the Austrian league, it's not the Swedish league, but it's not the Premier League either. So Braga will be a slightly tougher game, but I'd expect if we were playing well and doing it to go out there. But I can't see if we make wholesale changes how we actually win the game, and that worries me because it's confidence, it's facing elimination from something that's created the excitement. The one thing that's getting me over Everton, the reason I want to come on and talk to you tonight, is because I want to start building myself up again. Because I know how important the European games have been for us as fans. When we've been flat, I've told everybody, like, obviously Seville was the first one in God knows how many years. Then we had that rubbish spell, and we didn't think Graz could be anywhere near as good as Seville. But it ended up being equally, if not better, because it was just in a different way, and that's what we need now. We need that excitement again. We joked a bit at the start of the show about the negativity and the infighting and the backlash from the weekend, and it's all come out again. So what we need in this European game, just to get everybody, it's not about what we're thinking half the time. Obviously they perform for us and we want them to win, but the most important thing is player confidence. But if we're behind them, we're excited for it, they're up for it, they perform well, they get not a comfortable win, but like a solid win. A 2-0 would be the perfect thing. You come away and say that's a professional job, where you've probably been able to take 1 or 2 players off towards the end. And sometimes I think with these games, and I am going back to the question, is put your best players in for the first part of the game and try and get in front, and then take them out. Rather than sort of rely on the younger players or the players coming in, the players who haven't got many minutes, and then sort of start making changes to bring other players on when you're actually chasing it at that point, in a bit of desperation, and things might not get your way, and you might overstretch, you might do something wrong. So I just think this is a game where I know Spurs ain't going to be easy. They found a bit of form, from where they were a couple of weeks ago, but we've got to win it. And
Des, the question is, and this question, would you play the strong team then against Utrecht then?
Yes, I would, because I just think a lot. And I was going to say I'm harping back to Brian Clough, but to be honest, that's what Taxi does anyway, and we all love him for that. What Brian Clough did, he wanted to win every single game. He didn't care if it was Real Madrid or the Dog and Duck. He put out his strongest team, and all these sort of end of season competitions, he always wanted to go and win them, and all these little things. And I know that's not exactly the point here, but it was always about putting the best team out. When you see teams win cup competitions, like tournament competitions like the World Cup, they just or they steam through qualifying, and you've seen it with Tuchel, plays the same team every time, even when it's done and dusted. They play the same team, because that's how you become a better football side. Football is all about consistency. So if Forest go and get a comfortable win, they won't feel tired, on Sunday. They'll be up for it on Sunday, because there was a bit of a buzz and a bit of an excitement back. The problem was, after Graz, for example, was we played at Graz, and it was a bit flat. The game itself, after
I think after the penalty, after the penalty miss, it went flat, didn't it?
it went flat, and then everything starts piling on a bit, the pressure and the mental exhaustion, so I just think we have to play a strongest team and get some points, get into a place in that table where we know we're going to have more games in Europe, and if we do come out of it ultimately, then we've got that rest and that break, and hopefully the squad to keep us in the Premier League. But what you don't want is to come out of it and everything to go pear-shaped, to motivation to drop. And look, I don't want to be too critical after a couple of defeats, because Liverpool was only a couple of weeks ago and we was all very complimentary. Or a defeat, not even a couple of defeats. We're on a streak of one at the minute, but there seems to be. I said it right at the start. There seems to be something missing. There seems to be something wrong. What's happening with Chris Wood? Where's Murillo?
That's a frustrating bit, Des. And even Douglas Luiz. Where's
Douglas Luiz? What backward? These players were supposed to be back, and then you see it on the pitch. I see now Anderson. You can see his frustration. He's been playing with England. He's been playing with a lot better players. It's as simple as that, because that's the levels. And there's a bit of frustration there, and there's a bit of grumbling and groaning. There's people on Gibbs White's case, which to some degree, I'm his biggest fan. To some degree.
Yeah, but Des, I think
get it. Because just going back to that Everton game, Dore, what Forest need to do, and so this means that this will answer everything. What they need to do is start with the strongest possible team, back to basics. Back to the basics of what made Forest good, what put them in Europe in the first place. And if that's Gibbs White playing where he does, off Jesus, and Callum Hudson-Odoi and Dominguez, doing what he does, and because that's what we lacked on Saturday. It was the basic stuff that we really lacked. We did have one or two opportunities, like you say. So for me, I'm almost talking myself into that. Going back to what this team knows, the pragmatism that they have, and then to go and hit teams on the break, when they get the opportunity, but make sure you don't create errors. Because under Cooper for 2 seasons, if we'd have cut out the errors, Cooper would never have got the sack, because we'd have been a lot higher in the table anyway. When Nuno come in, the first thing he did is, well, not the first thing, but over time they cut out individual errors. You've seen it with West Ham now, and I'm not purposely blowing smoke up Nuno's backside, but this is the problem now. The basics are gone. Morata can't even pass it into the midfield when he can pass it into midfield, because he is good enough to do that. And Dore at the minute can't trap a bag of sand. Because the ball's bouncing off him and coming back. So you've just got to get in there. And Gibbs White, I was as frustrated as I've ever been with him on Saturday. I get why he does the flicks, because in the Premier League, you've got to do something different. You've got to do something special. But when you're in a mess like we are, you don't do that. You make sure you pass it off to your winger or your fullback or your midfield partner, and you move, pass and move. Play the way you're facing. This is where it was all going wrong on Saturday. When we did get the ball in forward position, even at Wolves, the application just went out the window. They thought it was too easy early on, because they got on top, and then they stopped sort of steaming into the tackles so much, because they knew they could pass it, play it around, and do this, and eventually a goal would come, and it did. So it worked. So you take it and you move on. But taking that performance into Everton, where those basics weren't quite as solid as they had been, and that's why I think we have to go strong. We have to. Dyche is still working with these guys. He's still new. Let's not face it. You can't really judge anyone after this long, even though the other guy was gone at this point, and that needed to happen. But with what he has done in the early stages, he's got them going. But for some reason, that seems to have just dipped over the last couple of games. So if they get a strong team out and he gets into them, none of your flicks today. And like I say, I love that, because that's what makes him the player he is. You need something different. You need
but Des, but the thing we get why, because he's like I said, he is talented, and the moment like I said, he does a mistake, everyone's going to just go for him because he is that talented. And when you hear some people say, "Oh, get rid of him," blah blah, you're just saying it because
I was having a conversation with Kay, and when we were talking, we had a quick conversation earlier about the younger fans, and I'm not being an old fuddy-duddy when I say this. The reason that reaction comes is because some of them, look, I don't blame them for not being there. They can only go to games from a certain age, like we did when we were young, but they haven't seen the real tough stuff. And this is what happens in football. And when the tough stuff happens, all this crazy reaction to everything comes out. Morgan Gibbs White's the worst player in the world, and he's this and he's that. Well, he's not, is he? If you take a step back and look at where we've come from to what we've got now, and yes, I'm trying to sort of defend him to some degree in the sense that he has to do those flicks, because that's what creates his goals. When it comes off, it's a magical goal that we'll all play 64 times on Twitter, like on X. We'll keep playing it and showing people, and that's what the Premier League's about, flair players like that. But right now, right in this situation, he's going to take the captaincy burden on his shoulders and think, well, I've got to do every single thing I do on a football pitch right. And that's why I was talking about mistakes with Cooper. It was all individual errors because we were struggling down there, and it's creeping back in again. And we're not a million miles away. We've got a starting 11 to match up to a lot of the teams that will be fighting out from 6 to 10. Like I said about Brighton, like I said about Everton, we're as good, in terms of individual ability. This time last year, I wouldn't have swapped any of our players for any of theirs. So it can't be that wrong. But what they have to remember is what got them there. And that was the frustrating thing that come out of my comments was just we've all put them on a pedestal. Other clubs have put them on a pedestal by coming in and flashing 100 million around and things like this. But there won't be £100 million players if they keep playing like that. And there won't be £100 million players if they get signed by a team and they've been playing like this for 3-4 months. They've got to bring that application back into it. And I think all that starts with playing the players that you can be trusted. When an Harry Redknapp or a Sam Allardyce goes into a club to sort it out, and Dice did this to some degree, he went back. They go to the team that they take all the flair players out, strip it back, and then they work on the team that they know they can trust, and then one by one they bring the flair players back in. Do you see what I mean? So like Dice did it with Forest. He went back to last season's team from game one, and then he's as he's tried to introduce these players, it's not really working. And yes, there's injuries. He's got a lot to deal with in that sense. The inconsistency of players in and out of the team, Murillo's and Douglas Luiz, and Sangare's form's dropped a little bit again. He's been playing really well.
He played one good game against Liverpool, you've not seen him. I keep it 100. I'm saying I don't like to think like I know you're not his fan, but for me, I want to see consistent from him, and we're not getting it from him. I know everyone's been consistent.
This is the word that keeps coming up, isn't it? Consistency, and we're just a bit erratic at the moment. And the fact we went to Liverpool twice in 3 weeks, and beat one side 3-0 and got beat by the other 3-0.
Exactly. Weird, isn't it?
It's just a model of the inconsistency, what we're showing. But where that comes from is inconsistent performances on the pitch, inconsistencies in the team selection, inconsistencies with players and injuries and things like that. And look, everybody has to deal with it. It's all part and parcel of football. It's all for the manager to deal with. But collectively, the way I feel the players can put it right is beyond the team sheet. The Gibbs Whites, the Andersons, the Hudson-Odois, the Dominguez, the ones for whatever people think of any of those in terms of ability, what you're going to get week in, week out. Exactly what you're going to get. Some of the signings, you've not got a clue. That you don't know whether they're going to be world beaters or absolute trumps. It's just the way. And right now we don't need that. We need to be working with what we know we can trust. or what we know we're going to get, and then add to it bit by bit. And I think it all starts with Utrecht. It's got to be a big performance, from big players. Yeah, well, look a couple of weeks ago when Gibbs White played against Man United. Big performance against his club. You want to see that 2, 3, 4 times in the space of 6 or 7 weeks. Don't get me wrong, I'm not in this thing what Gibbs White should be winning his games every week, because it doesn't happen. Even at the top clubs, the same player doesn't win the game every week. Apart from Salah last season. But look what's happened to him this season. But when you look at Arsenal, 1 week Eze will win the game for them. 1 week it'll be Saka. 1 week it'll be Odegaard or someone else. It kind of gets split around. And I think the problem with Gibbs White, for example, is everybody expects him to be the match winner. Yes, he's the likely match winner. But if he's doing his things well, others should be feeding off that as well. Others should be supporting him. And that's my frustration when people do get us on his case is, yes, sometimes he doesn't play well. He didn't play well on Saturday, and it was probably his poorest game I'd seen for a long, long time. But others have got to support that. Just because he might be.
I'm missing my argument. Like with Anton is just levels ahead of everyone, and no one Gibbs White was our main tally man last season, and again, because everyone expects to be Gibbs White for what he did last season, he's got more pressure now because we're in a deep trouble. And every time I said Gibbs White does that flick or has a bad game, everyone's on his case. And I think everyone's expectation
because he knew what he was working with, and look, he has to work with whoever he's put with. But last season, you could pick the first 11. We knew what the first 11 was week in, week out. If there weren't a little knock or something else, it was Aina and Williams, the 2 centre backs. The one place up for grabs at times was the centre midfield, but then he had the 2 wingers and he had Chris Wood. And you've seen over time and with consistency, he builds relationships up with everybody on the pitch. But right now he isn't getting that. He isn't afforded that luxury because he's having to work with different players. Players who are badly out of form, players who can't control the football. And then his performance is going to suffer. It's a team game. That's what people forget a lot of the time. It is actually a team game. I've been critical of individuals before that sort of gets leveled at me, but then you've got to contribute. And what I'm saying about Gibbs White, his thing has got to be, I'm the captain, I'm going to make sure I do all my things well, and I'm going to demand a little bit from these players. Play the ball first time, play it straight the way you're facing. Don't buckle in your tackle. Don't think that you're going to turn up and beat Wolves comfortably, or any team. Utrecht, because just go out there and be as professional and as and put the best application in. And this team with application is a phenomenal side. We've seen it. They can give anyone a really good game with a fight and determination, what they showed last season, and application in attacking areas. They've got all the ability in the world. It wasn't that long ago, Callum Hudson-Odoi was being spoken about, 25, 40, 50 million pound player, being linked with Spurs and Aston Villa and teams like that. So again, if that comes back, we've got a hell of a side, but the only way you get that back is playing and winning and taking confidence from it.
100%. Like I said, as everyone knows, me and Des, we're going to Utrecht to see the Forest play again. Third away trip. We played Betis, we played Stone Graz. Are you excited? Before we go, are you excited for the Utrecht trip?
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. Kay's coming with me, so we're on
Best
the
behaviour
Eurostar.
then. Best behaviour. Hey? Best behaviour then.
Well, she's going to take them all on outside whilst we're inside. No, we're getting the Eurostar on Thursday morning. We'll be there by lunchtime, so looking forward to that. And then a night in Utrecht, and then a night in Amsterdam on Friday.
You're close to me, aren't you, in Utrecht? So maybe we can do something.
Well, absolutely. Hopefully, it'll all go well. But I watched it. I watched a YouTube vlog. I don't know how. I just put Utrecht in, and I found a guy. I think he's a Brighton fan, but he goes around He loves Dutch football, and he did
Oh,
he did a vlog from did they play Leon first game? Was it Leon?
Leon. Yeah, Leon.
And he did a vlog, and they got beat 1-0, but they played really well. But the Dutch fans, like we seen it in Graz and Seville, the fans are just different levels at times. We need to
Yeah.
take a the one thing. The one thing what makes those games is that atmosphere and the grounds
Mm,
and I think as English football fans we need to take a good long look at ourselves, and think, how could we get it's been part of the conversation with Forest, hasn't it? Of
mm,
fans walking out and this and that. We won't go into that, but this is what's made these European nights. It's been being in town, shaking
yeah. I
hands
can't.
with
I'm looking forward
fans,
to it, man. I'm looking forward to it,
talking to
man.
people, and hopefully it's just all good natured, and didn't spill over. But
It's
but
amazing
yeah.
days. It's amazing. Like I said, we're going to see Forest in Europe. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. Like I said, watching it on TV in '96 with Frank Clark, and this is our third trip. It's mad.
And I think one of the reasons, selfishly, I want us to play a strong team and qualify is because we ain't getting there next season.
Exactly. Well, we can't if we win it. If we win it, we get Champions League.
Well, yeah, but that don't look very likely. Do you know what?
You know,
After the
you what do
Liverpool
you mean never
game,
like? You never know, Des. Stop being negative.
no, you never know. After the Liverpool game, I said the one thing that this resurgence of form had given me is hope that we could actually win that competition. When we start reverting back to the struggles under Postecoglou, it seems to be creeping in, I start believing that it's an hindrance, and the longer it goes on, as much as I want it to carry on and I want us to do certain things, the league has to take priority. We're back in the bottom
Mm,
three, and that so everything I've said about strong teams in this probably get blown out the water, because the reality is they've got to stay in the Premier League. And that's where then I stopped dreaming about that and just think at least we stay up. But if we could, if we could get through, but right now, let's be realistic, we ain't playing there next season. And look how long it took us last time. So that was meant as a positive, in the fact that these are brilliant. These are absolutely fantastic occasions, and we just want to savour them. We might not see it again, or it might be 40, 50 years. All the stories about the guys who went to Graz in the 80s,
it is. Mm,
40 years ago, and it might be that long. So you just have to sort of lap it up, and we
mm,
do. When
we
we
do
go, we make
definitely.
the most of it. But I want us to have more, and that's the point. Although I don't want us to have that playoff, because I could do with
The rest.
refilling the bank account a little bit over
Exactly. We
Christmas.
people. It's not cheap. There's a problem. Like I said, it's so good that all myself, Des, and all Forest fans who get the time to go to these trips. It's money, and that's why I need your support, people. With like I said, Tim is now a member to my channel. I appreciate it. If you want to be a member, any donations towards my channel,
Look,
is a must.
it's an absolute privilege, isn't it, Dore? The Europeans supporting Forest at home. I'm I'm not. I'm really trying not to be arrogant when I say this, because it is an absolute privilege to go and watch them away. And
Yeah,
even if they don't win, they've given us this.
to give us this.
They've given us this opportunity, and that's why it's frustrating when you watch stuff like you've seen in the last couple of games, because that is the bread and butter. That is what most fans get to see. We're lucky
Mm,
for whichever way we shape a life that we actually get to do this, and they've given us these adventures, because it is at the moment much more than the result. It's about the experience, because we ain't in knockout football. When it becomes, it'll go to another level again when it's knockout, because
mm,
everything will matter. Within that game, if we're quite tense about the game now, imagine when you're playing a second leg, you know, against somebody at the City Ground, and it's 0-0.
exactly.
And
Mm,
so it goes to another level. So, like I say, right now it's probably more about the experience than it is about the result. But what I've said over the last couple of games, imagine if we'd have won one of those, how much more it would have added to the experience,
exactly.
and
Especially
when we
Betis.
win, and that's why it'd be important, not just to get everyone on side and everybody excited again, but to go to Utrecht and just the good feeling that can emanate from that, around the club, around everyone, and thinking, yes, we will be extending this. So it probably take a bit of pressure off the Premier League performance, and that's where I'm trying to sort of lead with everything on this, because it is incredible and it is a privilege. Although we make it happen, so but they've made this period of time of going to games in Europe a thing. And I'm extremely grateful for it. So that's why I would never go to them downbeat and try and work myself up like I have this week.
Exactly. I'm going to do a massive shout out to Long Hair Yeti for being a member to my channel. Appreciate it a lot, man. And like I said, 2 members to my channel. Like I said, it helps me a lot because, like I said, there's no and people. I've done this since so long, and now we're in Europe. You see different things. Me going Europe, going Betis, going Graz, and now I'm going Utrecht. So, yeah, Long Hair. Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel as well. If you can, make sure you follow him on YouTube as well. So thank you as well. Right, we'll get going. Des, it's been a pleasure as always coming on my channel.
No worries.
Make sure everyone follows Des on Instagram. Like I said, he does his before and after games as well. I told you know what? I've had enough to turn Des to start a YouTube channel because I think he's gave up. You know what you do, Des? I talked to you after the show. There's something that you could do, and I think you might like it as well. But people, if you can do a massive favor for me, like I said, I'm going to Utrecht. I'm leaving tomorrow.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, nothing. No, you like it. I think it might be your tree up your tree. But yeah, people, I'm heading to Utrecht tomorrow with Gary. I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, people, the vlog can be amazing. After game reaction as well. People, should I do a stream in Utrecht Wednesday night or not? I don't know. I might just go for a walk. Yeah, I'm going for a walk in Utrecht on Wednesday. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy. But yeah, people, if you can do a massive favor for me before you do leave, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. I hope Wolves win. Wolves win. I hope they do. And what else? And we've got people. If you don't know, we've got Wrexham in the FA Cup. So again, I think that's something we've got to be careful. But it's a new grind. It's a new grind. Right, people. Again, Des, thank you very much. Make sure everyone follows Des on Instagram as well. A massive shout out to my sponsors as well, Alan Haulage Far and Wide. If you want to know more about them, the link is in the description as well. So thank you to Alan Haulage Far and Wide. Right, people, I'll see you in Utrecht on whenever. Peace and love. Up the Forest.